Peyton Lerner wants to know, am I an idiot for thinking that Florida makes it a close game with Richardson? Close as in covering. No, I don't think you're an idiot there. I went ahead and played Florida plus the 14.5. I think that's something that actually, I mean, we'll see if it keeps rising or not. It wouldn't shock me if it did. Here, make sure I'm pulling up my odds sheet. When I put the column out, they dipped down to 14. So if it gets back up to 14.5, I'll go ahead and add some of that to the column. Where are we at here? So yeah, I'm seeing a couple 14.5s out there. I don't know that this thing's going to get under 14 or down to 13.5. So I would go ahead and just sit and take some 14.5. I don't think it's going to go to 17 though. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at Georgia. Georgia has been historically dominant on defense, just super dominant. And we have seen some things where I feel like we know about Georgia. Georgia's front seven is stupid good. They have 3 guys there who I think will safely be top 100 picks, and a couple guys who are probably going to be first-round picks on defense. You know, they might be the best front seven since that Clemson team that gave Alabama such a run. However, again, much like the exercise we did with Michigan and Michigan State, let's go through and see which passing offenses Georgia has faced. Because I think if Georgia has, and I'm not going to call it a weakness because that's going to end up on a bunch of reels, and I don't think it's actually a weakness. Let's say a lesser strength relative to the whole, or perhaps a bit of an unknown. Who are the best passing offenses Georgia has faced this year? Well, Clemson's passing offense looks worse each week, so probably not them. UAB, who has the track record for just playing these bye games and not showing anything, not even trying, it seems like that's an angle I need to do a better job of exploiting in betting. Because when UAB goes and plays these bye games, they just get their doors blown off and they don't really care. South Carolina, one of the worst passing offenses in the country. Vanderbilt, shout out Barton. I think he's going to get that thing turned around, but they're not there right now. Still waiting on a passing offense to show up. Arkansas. Well, do you guys like Arkansas's passing offense? That day, you had the quarterback for Arkansas who was kind of banged up. Jefferson, wasn't super mobile. We knew that Burks had been in a boot for a little bit. I don't know, man. That passing offense is also one that is their drop back game is not very good. If they have the ability to run the football, then they can throw play action off it. You cannot run on Georgia, I don't think. I mean, just they win so many battles up front. Their run defense, adjusted for opponent, is number 1 in the country, like by a ton. And they have played some good rushing offenses. So I am confident that Georgia has a really, really good rush defense. I'm not sold that it has a historically elite passing defense. And so we'll see, right? Kentucky is another team. Their drop back game is just not good if it's not off play action. They're running a lot of that Los Angeles Rams stuff to where, it's wide zone, play action off that stretch stuff. Okay. And that's great against most teams. But against Georgia, that's not really going to work because Georgia can win a numbers game against you. They don't necessarily have to be +1 in the run game in order to shut you down. And that is problematic because they don't fall for some of the play action and some of the RPO stuff like a lot of these defenses do. So again, this is an unknown with Georgia because I'm still going down their list and I have not seen a great passing offense yet. I think this is similar to what we saw with Penn State. Is Auburn the best passing offense that Georgia and Penn State have played? I think it probably is, right? 30th in success rate, 37th in efficiency for Auburn's passing offense. However, I want to point this out. Auburn is outside the top 100 in passing explosiveness. They do not push the ball down the field very effectively at all. Now, let's go to Florida's passing offense. This is interesting. Can Florida present this test? I thought last year that Dan Mullen, his primary objective was to create a one-on-one situation. Because if you get one-on-one, all right, you can beat somebody with Kadarius Toney. You can beat somebody with Kyle Pitts. This year, I think you have to have more of a one-on-none situation because Florida's playmakers on the outside are not anywhere near as good. However, Dan Mullen has messed up some games this year for sure. They've also had some very bad turnover luck, as we saw against LSU and the Kentucky with the field goal, getting blocked and returned for touchdown. Florida's pass offense this year has been pretty damn efficient, right? They're 10th in success rate. They're 20th in passing efficiency per Connolly. They do push the ball down the field a little bit better than you thought that they might. With Florida, do I think they can go and score 40 on Georgia? Not really. But Georgia, if you can play with them a little bit, I think Florida can play with Georgia some. This will the cover in this game, I suspect, will come down to just how good is Georgia's secondary really? Because this is another test for them. It's probably the toughest test Georgia is going to have in the passing game until it plays most likely Alabama in the SEC title game. And then can Florida make Georgia throw the football? Georgia has had so few opportunities to actually throw the football when it basically had to do it this year that it's very hard to judge how good their passing game is. Their passing game in all the stats looks great. But I think Georgia has had the luxury, and it's a deserved luxury. They go out there and they earn that luxury with how good their defense is, with how good their run game has been. They've had the luxury of playing with the lead basically all the time. And there's been very few instances in which they've had to drop back and pass. They have had very few high leverage passing spots. I am not super confident in Stetson Bennett and this receivers group that they're all that great, to be honest. Maybe they're going to prove me wrong. I'm willing to bet on Florida here, plus 14.5 points. Obviously, I do not think Florida is going to win the game. And Georgia has some real motivation in addition to the national title. Not that I believe in this motivation stuff all that much, but I'm sure they remember last year in the back of their mind when Florida kind of dunked on them and made that defense look bad. So can Dan Mullen scheme up enough to keep this within 2 scores? If Georgia gets in a tight spot where they have to throw the football, can they do it? And can Florida even put them in that spot? Because the last time we saw, so Florida's faced some good rushing offenses this year, right? Let's discuss this angle of the game real quickly. Florida has faced some good running offenses, and they have had some mixed results. They shut down Tennessee pretty effectively, 38-14. They really shut down Kentucky's offense. They lost the game because of 15 penalties, most of them on offense, and then a blocked field goal return for a touchdown. But you know, they did shut down Kentucky's run game. Now, Alabama did not run the ball on them super well either. LSU, however, did. LSU got them, and basically Florida did not make capable adjustments. LSU kind of whipped those guys to the line of scrimmage as well, and Florida's lack of adjustments were such that LSU was able to get consistently good angles, which is problematic as well here. I'm sure Georgia watched that game, and if Georgia just bullies Florida up front, we may go another week or another month, honestly, without knowing if the Bulldogs can pass if they have to. And, you know, we'll maybe not know just how good Georgia's pass defense is. Okay, we do know it's good. Is it like crazy all-time elite like I think their run defense in this era probably is? We'll find out. But that is really predicated on Florida being able to stop the run decently enough to force Georgia into those passing situations. And I'm not totally convinced Florida can do it as far as being able to win the game. I do think Florida here is a couple points too high. And again, that's what I'm doing. I'm betting for value. I'm not putting my house on Florida here. I bet 50 games last weekend. You know, I'm trying to be a lot more right than I am wrong. I will get some games wrong. I'm just going to get more right pretty consistently, I think.